As Republicans continue to get torn to shreds in town halls all over the country, it's becoming increasingly clear that the American people are pissed off at what this Trump administration is trying to get away with. It turns out the American people are not interested in randomly cutting off funding that has already been approved by Congress. People are not interested in indiscriminately firing tens of thousands of federal employees. And they're definitely not interested in Elon Musk running around Washington, D.C. and getting his grimy little fingers onto our personal information. But instead of trying to confront the reality of the situation, instead of trying to confront the concerns of their constituents, many Republicans are just trying to pretend like nobody at all is mad that their country is burning down around them. Instead, they're trying to make up stories that all of these town halls have been infiltrated by George Soros-backed protesters. They're being paid. I mean, here, listen to Lisa McClain try to say, well, this is just all a whole bunch of crazy Democrats. If you guys do appreciate my work, please do remember to subscribe.
Morning, everyone. I want to start with last week. Videos of protesters yelling at members of Congress went viral, right? But the content focused on the confrontation, not the why. Some of the people that hijacked those town halls are happy with the bloated status quo. They want the bloated status quo to continue. They don't want to get our country back on track. And to make matters worse, even the DNC chair openly suggested that the outrage at the town halls across the country was orchestrated. But here's the truth. Getting us out of nearly $37 trillion in debt, it's not going to be easy.
So let me get this straight. All the town halls all over the country have been orchestrated, they've been infiltrated, they've been hijacked by crazy Democrats? Is that the argument here? Because the last time I checked, even if you are an elected Republican, you still have Democrats living in your district. Is it too much of a stretch to think that pissed off Democrats might show up to their Republican town hall? Why is it that these people are so comfortable living in this alternate universe? Why are they trying to pretend like there is no way it is possible that people are mad at the current state of affairs in the United States? If they want to continue to operate this way, I am all here for it, because this does not sound like a good way to win an election. If you're just going to try to pretend like nothing is going on as your administration burns our country to the ground, well, then you should be punished electorally. These people are absolutely insane. We then had Roger Marshall. I don't know if you guys saw this clip going around, but he ended his own town hall after being confronted by a constituent.
Government is doing right now as far as cutting out those jobs, a huge percentage of those people, and I know you care about the veterans, are veterans.
Yes.
And that is a damn shame.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a damn shame.
I'm not a Democrat, but I'm worried about the veterans, man.
Well, I yielded to one of my elders, and I appreciate his comments. I think it's a great. I'm not gonna. We don't have time for everyone to stand up. I do got 2 more commitments today. Appreciate everybody making the drive out, and God bless America. Thank you.
We're gonna take pictures with you, buddy, right? Vote you out.
Yeah, so people are rightfully pissed because they showed up for a town hall that was supposed to last an hour, but then he dipped out early, like 20 minutes early. All because he could not stand there and confront the discontent of his voters. Was the guy standing up there talking about veterans, was he a paid actor? Was he a paid protester, as many Republicans are trying to have us believe? I mean, then Roger Marshall went on some radio show and tried to spin up this story that, well, these were just out-of-towners.
So the big disappointment was here's a county, 3,000 people, less than 3,000. They're all connected to agriculture. So they wouldn't let me talk about agriculture or rural America. So people from the big city drove 5 hours so they could silence rural people who really are on tough times right now. Over 85% of people in that county voted for President Trump. I looked at the car tags, okay? I'm not done. All I have to do is look at the car tags. When there's more Mercedes-Benz there than there are pickup trucks, I know they're not from rural America.
Is he going to ever provide any actual evidence of his claim here? He's trying to say that all the cars were from out of town, and that they were from the big city, and they actually came to this town hall so they could block rural voters from talking about the issues that they wanted to talk about. Why are these people allowed to just make up stories without providing a shred of evidence for what they are saying? Why is that suddenly okay inside the GOP? And are you trying to tell me that every single soul at your town hall was somebody that came from out of town? I am sure there are some organizations that are working and coordinating to get constituents to these town halls, but are you trying to say that all of those people are paid? Are you trying to say that none of your constituents showed up? Of course, we have organizations that alert people to these types of town halls. There has to be organization in a democracy. That's just how it works. And we will talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But here's Diane Harshbarger. I don't know how to pronounce her name. She says that all the town hall attendees were paid.
Your recent town hall made some headlines because you had all these rabble-rousers out there. Are you sensing, are we on the right track here that these are really Democrats?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, I even asked them at one point, I gave them the guidelines of the meeting. I said, look, if you yell, if you talk over me or anybody that's asking a question, you start yelling or you're disrespectful. I said, these fine gentlemen that are policemen back here are just going to take you outside. We're in an agriculture center, and you can scream till the cows come home, and the only one's going to hear you is livestock. So what they did, Todd, is that they were probably paid Soros or MoveOn.org protesters because I had a buddy that saw Davidson County tags toward Nashville. These people were not constituents, and they are showing up in very red districts to make a scene, to start talking over anybody who has legitimate questions, to make a scene to say, hey, even red districts disagree with what the president and Elon Musk is doing. So, yeah, it was just the show. And those people don't live in East Tennessee. Are you kidding? They had purple hair, teal hair. I've never seen them in my life. So, yeah, they're paid protesters.
That's how it's the hair color and the smell. And that's how you know.
Oh.
Ha, ha, ha. Everything these people do is crafted around this caricature of what a Democrat might be. Oh, they got purple hair and they smell bad like a hippie. These people are pathetic. There are organizations like Indivisible, Move On was mentioned there. They have people who volunteer in their local areas, and when town halls are put on the calendar, it is those types of groups that send out emails to say, hey, there's a town hall going on in your area. That does not mean that George Soros is sending checks to all of these people to go chase town halls all around the country. That is not what is going on here. I have not been involved in a ton of organizing, but I have attended these types of meetings or these types of email chains that I get alerted to things in my area. That does not mean that I am a paid protester. These people are pathetic. They are living in a fantasy land. They are trying to convince themselves that, of course, Republicans are on board with everything we do. Of course. They aren't mad. They aren't pissed off that thousands upon thousands of people are getting fired. They're not mad that the farmers can no longer collect the USAID check because they produced food for USAID program. They're not mad. And as I said, if they want to continue this line of thinking into the midterms, be my guest. But it is quite clear that the American people en masse are just not into what is going on. Whether you're a Republican, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're an independent, whether you're a non-voter, people are not happy. And to try to write all of this off as a whole bunch of paid protesters in every single instance is just ludicrous. You might have individual organizers that might get paid by like the individual organization, but those people aren't attending the town halls. They're the ones sitting behind a computer sending out emails to constituents in the area. That is how these organizing efforts work. And to try to write it off as anything else will be your own downfall. Here Mike Johnson is pretty much claiming the exact same thing. Well, we don't have anything to be worried about, guys. Just a whole bunch of paid protesters.
As you have seen through this, and we've seen the blowback that some Republicans in your caucus that are getting when they go back home to their districts, worried about these cuts or worried about what DOGE is doing. Do you have concerns that that's anything that Democrats will be able to use to run against those Republicans?
No, because no, I don't. Because the videos you saw of the town halls were for paid protesters in many of those places. These are Democrats who went to the events early and filled up the seats. If the videos had panned outside the building,
you can't argue they were all paid protesters, though, Mr. Speaker.
Many of them were.
A Republican acknowledged they were his constituents.
One Republican acknowledged they were his constituents. That's fantastic. Okay, but they had Democrats come and fill the seats early, all right? This is an old playbook that they pulled out and ran, and it made it look like that what is happening in Washington is unpopular. But I'm going to tell you, Caitlin, the American people are behind what's happening. The DOGE efforts is polling over 80% right now. They want us to find efficiencies in the federal government. They want the government to be smaller and leaner and more accountable to the taxpayers. And that's what these efforts are all about. That's what the Republican Party is about. That's what our commitment is to do, to make government work better for the people. This is a restoration of common sense above everything else. And I think the American people are going to remain in favor of what's happening here.
So not only does he want you to believe that all of these town halls are just stuffed full with paid protesters, but he also wants you to believe that DOGE is receiving 80% support. Again, these people just pull numbers out of their ass. This is not true. What DOGE is doing is very, very unpopular. He's probably conflating this number. Most Americans can agree that we want to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, but that is not what DOGE is doing. So do not let these people try to trick you into thinking that what DOGE is doing in Washington, D.C. is actually popular. On a broad level, what they are doing is very unpopular. And until they provide a shred of evidence that all of these town halls across the country are being filled up with paid protesters, do not believe that either, because that is just not how these things work. As I stated before, you might have an organizer in a certain region of the country that, manages different pockets of local constituents, but that is not the same thing as George Soros or Indivisible or Move On cutting checks for people to go into these town halls to create ruckus. That is just not how these things work. And if Republicans continue down this line, they're going to get wiped out in the midterms. So as I said, I am all here for it. If they want to close their eyes, if they want to shove cotton balls in their ears and pretend like they are just so popular and that they've got this huge mandate given to them by the American peoples, so therefore they can do no wrong, then go for it. But I'm here to tell you, the American people are pissed off, and we need to continue to voice our discontent in each one of these town halls. So if you have a town hall in your area, try to make arrangements to go. If you've got different events like writing postcards or making phone calls to your legislators, make sure you're engaging in that too. But it's also very important that we show all of these different town halls and all of the discontent in the American people, because it kind of gives a sort of permission structure for other people to start engaging in this disobedience or protests as well. So it's very important that we highlight all of these events. It's very important that we make our voices heard, because I'll go back to it one more time. What the Trump administration is currently doing is very, very unpopular with most Americans, and we need to push back every step of the way. And if these people want to continue to pretend like they can do no wrong, well, then let them have it. So I will leave it there for now, guys. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share it with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We've got to build something here on the left that can adequately push back against this right-wing media ecosystem that just shovels all of this shit for the Republican Party without much pushback at all. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to subscribe. If you want to see how this stuff is unpopular, how Donald Trump's polling is just falling off a cliff right now, and the things that his administration are doing are very unpopular, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.